Ready to connect in. Our intention is to access the knowledge of Antarctica and get the highest information that we can receive today to help our viewers understand, to give us higher perspective, and to create a learning moment for evolution.
Okay, so where they dropped me, it's like I'm in this like really tropical, beautiful rainforest. Um, and it's like I'm looking up at this like huge, gigantic pyramid, and the pyramid is blue. And
What is the pyramid made out of?
it's like blue quartz.
Ooh, ooh. So are they wanting you to go into the pyramid?
I don't know, but I want to go in the pyramid.
Go for it. Go explore.
Yeah, so it has like really intense energy, and then it's also like, whoa, I started like spinning. It feels like there's like just this vortex of energy.
What do you think that they did in the pyramid? Like, what is it used for?
Okay, so I just heard like to go home.
Mm.
So this is definitely like some kind of portal in this pyramid. And I feel a lot of like I feel gray aliens, but they're like tall gray aliens.
And are they like running the pyramid or are they traveling through it? What are they doing?
Yeah, so it's like I can see them like it's like this vortex of energy swirls within this pyramid, and then they can use it as a direct portal back to, they're telling me like the Zeta Grays, or like to the Zeta, is it a Zeta Nebula? Um, or just like where the Zeta are from. Like it's very connected to the Zetas. And then it's also connected to it looks like a cartoon. It's like I can see it. It's like one alien jumps in. Or it's like they jump in. Oh my gosh, you know exactly what it looks like. Did you ever play Mario on Nintendo 64, where like you could jump into, it's like they had paintings on the ground and you could jump in to go into different worlds?
No, but I can kind of visualize it with you telling me.
Yeah, it's like this vortex created, it's like you would jump through it and go into like different worlds, or like to different places. So it's like there's actual portals to go to use for travel. And they're saying that like, okay, so where they took me was like, so Antarctica is so important because it was the very first civilization ever on Earth. So there have been multiple civilizations that have rose and fallen on Earth, but Antarctica was a lot warmer and it was very tropical then, and it was like the first civilization. It's like the first golden age of Earth. And so the most ancient wisdom is in Antarctica. And it's like that's why all of these things are starting to defrost, is because like the most ancient knowledge of Earth is starting to be uncovered for us. So had like we have access now to like ancient Egyptian knowledge, ancient Mayan knowledge, but they're telling me that like you're not even gonna believe like the ancient Antarctic knowledge.
What did they, when they first came to Antarctica, what we know is now, like, what did they want to learn and experience from that lifetime?
Oh, so it's like I'm seeing all these different kind of beings. So it's not even that it was like the Greys or the Pleiadians or like the Andromedans. It's like I'm seeing all these different kind of beings like come and land on Antarctica, and they were trying to decide like what kind of experiment they wanted Earth to be, or they wanted to decide like how they would evolve Earth. So it's like this is before the dinosaurs were even around. But like this was it's like they all met in present day Antarctica to decide um through the universe like how they would work together to evolve Earth.
So if you were to break away all that ice and snow there, would you find like an ancient city and pyramids and all of that, or what would you find?
Yeah, so they're saying that there's like pyramids under the ice that are even bigger than the pyramids of ancient Egypt. And there's like it's like, oh, there's like a like a DNA bank of like all of the DNA of Earth that they used. And then there's also like um it's like they left, it's like all of the missing pieces that we've been searching for. And that's why it's been so heavily like guarded, is because they know that all of the secrets to the universe are in Antarctica. And there are so many portals in Antarctica that will take you wherever you want to go.
Do galactic beings still use those portals to this day and utilize Antarctica?
Yeah, so I'm seeing it's a lot more like the military is like using it as experience, like experiments to see where it will take them. And then it's also like the Greys are like heavily invested in working with our military. So I see like the Greys like actively using these portals.
What advantage do the Greys have to be utilizing Earth militaries? Because I feel like they're probably more advanced than we are.
So there are a couple different types of Greys. So it's like I can see like, so the little Greys kind of just like do what is best for them. They have their own agenda, and they're pretty feisty. They're very like they're a little manipulative. So it makes sense that they work with our military. Like they definitely just look at situations like how will it benefit them as a species. And right now they're trying to figure out how to genetically modify the human body to evolve the species of the Greys. So it's like I can see they're working with the military to do this. Um and it has to do with like military and weaponry and stuff.
Um, what happened that they ended up not like that it froze over? Like what happened that it ended up not using that site anymore from the Galactics?
Yeah, so it's not that like um they're showing me that it has just been so long that like what they're showing me was like millions of years ago. So it's like um the earth has just evolved and shifted in its own orbit. And then that ice though, like it shifted at a point to where that ice has actually like perfectly reserved all of this knowledge for us.
Now, do the Galactics and the militaries of the world have a treaty where the militaries know they can't access or allow humanity to access any of that area?
Yeah, and so I guess if you want to like, I feel like Antarctica is absolutely like the one example that we truly have that shows that politics and country borders and things like that are all made up, that they don't truly exist. Because if these different countries were really at war with each other, then they would be fighting over Antarctica. But just the fact that they all have this peace treaty around the one of the most important places on this entire earth, that just shows that there's more going on behind the scenes than we realize. And there's only a few actual real people that are in charge of this like greater plan in place.
Now, did the Anunnaki ever have access or to Antarctica?
Yes, but they didn't use it as a portal as often because the portals under Antarctica didn't take them exact like they didn't need to, so the portals under Antarctica take you like out of the galaxy, or um they're showing me there's like specific stars that are very far away. So it's like this really allows you to travel intergalactically. And that's why the Greys use it so much, is because the Greys are from so many different planets. But the Anunnaki, their home planet is pretty much it's just like right outside of our solar system. So for them, they didn't need to access this particular portal.
Got it. Got it. Now, when the snow is melting and the experience that we have, what kind of, can you give us an example of some of the ancient knowledge that we will be feeling awaken within ourselves, or is it our Akashic that it awakens? Like, what does it awaken?
Yeah, okay, so they're telling me that it's like the melting of the snow also has to do with us being galactic citizens. So it's like we keep asking about like the technology that we need to go from one place to the other, but there are portals in Antarctica that are already there that we can use to go to all of these different places around the universe. So it's like they're showing me like um and I have memories of like going through these portals under the Egyptian pyramids too. So it's like you literally just like walk through these portals and you'll be like in Sirius or in the Pleiades, or like you'll have access to certain stargates. So it's like the technology is already here. It's just us having access to it. And right now it's just like still very heavily guarded. But they're saying like soon we will um it's almost like disclosure has to happen twice. So it's like they're showing me like disclosure is going to happen where we're going to have actual contact with extraterrestrials. um and then it's almost like once we discover what is under Antarctica, or like once we have proof of what is under Antarctica, it's almost like it's like the second awakening to extraterrestrials and alien contact, because not only will we be in contact with extraterrestrials, we'll be able to like travel to any place that we want to go. I keep seeing like you there's like this guard in is it no, I think it's in the Thor movie where it's like a portal and he walks through it to go into different worlds. That's exactly what it's like. So it's like through that movie there, it's like they're preparing us for these portals.
Is it like a Stargate, like where what they show in the, I think it's a series or something, Stargate, where it's like a circle and it kind of looks like a mirror, huge circle, and you will just walk through it?
Yeah, that's like literally all it is. It's like just like this oh, okay, that's probably why I felt like I was in a vortex. It's because it's like literally just this vortex of energy that you walk through when you're in a completely different place.
Now, when you walk through there, what is it like? How does that, do they have to have a receiving portal? Is that my understanding on the other side? Like they'll have to have their own kind of magic mirror, I guess I'm going to call it for myself. Stargate. Like, do they have to have a receiving one for you to go to that planet?
Yeah, so there still has to be, it's not even that it's like a Stargate, it's that there has to be like an energetic frequency that connects that portal. So, like the portal can't take you everywhere you want to go, but it will take you to like specific planets where they have like set up the energetic connection between the portals. So,
So,
okay, so I'm saying, or they're showing me that like the Pleiadians built this portal. So it's like directly connected to the Pleiades. Because the Pleiadians were the first ones to like come to Earth and seed Earth. So it was like their portal why they came here to seed Earth. And then after that, it's just been like upgraded and used in different ways by different extraterrestrials.
so if a galactic being were to come to Antarctica now, does the cold affect their physical bodies?
There are some, it really just depends. Most planets, well, I mean, I've seen it both ways. So it really just depends on the being. So like if they're more like light beings, then they don't really have an effect. But then you do have beings like that really don't like the cold.
Because I've noticed, I mean, I know we're a little off topic, that a lot of light workers don't like extreme temperatures here. Like there are a lot of light workers that don't like it really hot and really cold.
Yeah, and it just kind of depends on like the planets that you're from because every planet has a different atmosphere.
Got it. Now, there's this agenda that's going on about global warming. And when you tell me about like the melting of the ice, it sounds to me like that actually is in the greater plan of unlocking that ancient knowledge. What can you tell us about global warming right now? And should we be concerned about it? What can we do? Or if it's a part of the contract of evolution, like what can you tell me?
Yeah, so there's a difference between global warming or climate change versus air pollution. So, absolutely, you should be aware of like the pollutants that you're putting into the air, but more because like you're physically breathing that in and it's having it could have an effect like on your own body. But when it comes to global warming and climate change, the cycle just or the earth just has natural cycles that it's in. And if you look throughout history, you'll see that like and really do your own research, you'll see that earth has gone through these periods of great warming and great cooling. So everything is a cycle. So earth is just like coming back into its warming cycle or yeah, its warming cycle, and it's all for a reason. So like all of this is planned for a reason, for a higher and greater purpose. So it's like we're meant to go into global warming at this time so that we can have access to ancient Antarctica and so that we can have access to all of this like buried knowledge. And it's all like divine timing because if we had been given access to this information of Antarctica, then we would not have been able to use it at a higher level of consciousness. So, like, it probably would have made people feel afraid, or people would have used it as weaponry, or people would have like used it against one another. And since we're evolving so quickly, when Antarctica does melt, we can use this information and use this technology for the highest and greatest good.
Was it planned for there to be ice on Antarctica, or was that something that was a destruction.
So they're saying that like it wasn't always meant to be that way, but it was purposefully done after the last flood. So like after the last flood, because we tried to evolve this planet um in a harmonious way with Atlantis and Lemuria. Um and then we just realized that like humans have to do it on their own so that they can evolve their own consciousness and integrate some things that needed to be integrated. So it's like they're showing me that it was meant to be covered after Atlantis. And I think that it even hid some of that ancient knowledge from the Anunnaki because like um the Anunnaki were here and they had very like detailed contracts with the Anunnaki, and I think they like also used the ice to hide this from the Anunnaki so that they didn't like fully understand the evolution of humans or like their full evolvement, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. And I did find, I said in the past channeling that I've done was Enoch was trapped there in Antarctica, almost to like hide that knowledge. Um and I've heard of there being like draconian and reptilians in Antarctica. Do they have bases there, or are they even there at all?
Yeah, so they're like heavily guarding it right now. So um they're afraid that because they know that the ice is melting, so they can like already see it coming. But yeah, that's why it's so heavily guarded, is because like that is like they definitely have control over those portals right now. So it's also like it's like directing traffic. So
Mhm.
they have control over like, so before like the Pleiades would use that portal, Syrians would use that portal, but right now it's like heavily guarded by the reptilians and the Greys working with them.
I've heard of like oil rigger people who work on the ships that go to that area, that they've come back and they've said what they saw they could never talk about. What kind of things would they see that they felt like they couldn't talk about? Like, what does it look like to them?
Yeah, so they're just showing me it's like there's a lot of just like spacecrafts and stuff flying around you. Like it's like
Mm,
I can just see them going in and out of these portals because it's like the fastest way to access the portals that they need. Um okay, and they're saying that like they also made it so that it's a direct portal to Draco. So that makes more sense. So like that's like the easiest and fastest like way for them to travel to and from their home planet.
got it, got it. Are there is there any other information regarding, well, actually, let me ask this, to segue to our next video. I just wanted to ask, are there inner Earth, can you access inner Earth from the Antarctica? Is there a major tunnel from there to go there?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's almost like they're showing me that like once Antarctica froze, a lot of beings, because Antarctica was like this beautiful golden age. It was like the first golden age on Earth, and a lot of those beings that lived in Antarctica, um, they actually went into inner Earth because there are parts of inner Earth that are very, very beautiful. And it's like once we reach this fifth dimensional consciousness, it's like the beings from inner Earth will come to the surface as well.
Mm. because they'll be able to access that. Is there any other information regarding Antarctica you want to give us right now and help us understand?
They just said that like instead of or like to step back and change your perception of how you see things. So it's like instead of being like, "Oh my gosh, what are they doing in Antarctica?" Like, "Oh my gosh, there's reptilians down there." um just take a step back. Don't even put your attention on those things because your thoughts are extremely powerful, and instead put your attention on like the beautiful things that are coming. So let's like when you do gain access to more of this ancient knowledge, it's like being in awe of it. You're so happy and so grateful that you have access to like all of this new information. So it's like changing your perception of like how you see everything is so important right now, especially as we they're showing me like time is really speeding up. So it's really important that we learn how to back away and be the observer so that we can change our perception of everything. Because if we don't learn how to change our perception, then the next few years of our life is going to be really, really difficult.
Yeah, I think that does play a huge thing. And being an observer, does that mean we can't have fun and joy in life?
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, how can you observe these situations, be aware of them, but then also not get stuck in like those thought loops. So it's like more being aware of like the thought loops that they're causing and if it's triggering emotion inside of you so that you don't, because when we amplify our thought loops, then it just keeps amplifying the emotions in our body and we just get stuck in this vicious cycle. So it's just like when we say be the observer, it's just stepping back, honoring and loving your emotions, and then changing your emotions or like not sitting in them for too long. So, yes, it's like then go play, then have so much fun because you're here to experience.
Love that. Love that. Well, thank you for the information of Antarctica. And I just wanted to